Hello and welcome to Arena, Pennsylvania. We're at Tinicum Park for the 2023 Tinicum Open. This tournament brought to you by Cosmic Disc Golf, D-Town Disc Golf, and Reaper Disc Supply. I'm Dave Oster, here to bring you another BS Upshot Tournament and Shops tournament during this off-season. This was back in the fall. We're going to bring you both rounds of the Tinicum Open. First round feature card featuring Robert Staas, Tiernan Roland, Zach Sharp, and Tyler Keller, all local to the Eastern Pennsylvania area. We'll get started on hole 1. It's a par 3, 404 feet. Gotta hit one of a couple gaps, basically just trying to get out into the field. Certainly reachable if you have that 400 feet of power. Uphill at the end does make a play a little bit longer, but mostly just want to get out cleanly, maybe get a birdie, at least start your round off with a par. We've seen Rob a couple times recently. And yeah, sneaks through the trees, winds up right side. Might have a long look at it. I believe the other three players on our card is the first time each of them have made it on our coverage, so excited to see them. Second would be Tiernan, going with the forehand, just getting around that tree. Flips up pretty nicely and heading right for the middle. And yeah, I'd say most players, that's pretty much all you gotta do. You're getting about that 3 to 350 distance, then you have a nice easy layup. Zach, lefty, southpaw on the card. Sounded like he clipped off the first tree a little bit and kicked out. But again, once you're out in that field, you just have to lay up for your par. Tyler going with another forehand, a little bit higher. Fades out early. But all these guys should have a fairly easy up and down from different distances. Zach will be up first, probably 200, maybe 220 in. But fortunate to get past that tree, so no obstruction, and he should be starting off with his par. Rob, maybe a long bit at it. Pretty good run, landed up just short. Tyler a couple steps closer. Also trying to maybe a little soft bid. You have to hill behind to kind of run it, so it's not going to go too far. And Tiernan with the best drive has maybe circle 2. Look at it. Oh, and off the cage. Almost starting to round off the stroke on the rest of the card. And probably the field. Hole 1 coming in surprisingly is the 4th hardest at almost a quarter stroke over par. Oh, just spun around the cage for Tyler. Unfortunate way to get his tournament started off, but you got to get that one out now. A little early round jitters, like we said, first time for a lot of these guys on camera. But get it out of the way. On to hole 2. It is a par 4, 534 feet. First shot's going to be either through the woods, or you can go left and use the open air. Drone right now is showing you to the C pin, the short pin. We're playing to the longer pin. Continuing straight further into the woods. Looks like Rob is lining up. Looked like he was kind of going outside, but he wound up going through the woods. Right side, there is an OB road if you got too far. That looks like it should be set up pretty well for his second shot. Tiernan going with the roller. using the open air. This needed to stand up a little bit more, but it is out in the field and should be unobstructed until he has to approach the basket, which is back into the woods on the right side. Zach going with the backhand through the woods. This looks a little high. Yep, got caught up in those trees. So he got far enough down the fairway, he may still be able to reach the basket on a second throw. We'll see where his lie is exactly. And Tyler also catching those trees, so we'll have two more difficult shots, and the other two will probably be more routine up and downs. Tyler looked like he kicked out into the field, so backhand turnover line. And still had quite a bit of distance to make up there, so he's hopefully going to be able to get up and down for his par from there. Catching some more cabbage, but falling out into the open, so similar to Tyler. I have to just kind of pitch up and down. You can see the breath on these players. A little chilly morning, a little fog in the air. Mid-fall, you can see the leaves on the trees. Kind of past peak. Still very beautiful, this part of the state. Tiernan coming up a little bit short. Maybe giving a long bid for his birdie. And Rob with, I guess, the farthest drive, but has a lot of trees to deal with. Takes it very wide, up and over the OB road. Does come back in, and circles edge. Great job, so he'll have a putt for his birdie. So Zach and Tyler will have similar approaches downhill, basically just a couple of guardian trees to miss. Leaves are going to make the green play fast. And like I said, there's an OB road right side. I don't believe this crossroad is out of bounds. Ooh, Tyler giving a little bit of a bid. Both will be pretty close for their pars. Now this is Tiernan for his birdie, long look, maybe 75, 80 feet. Oh, it was on line, came up just a little low. Now Rob a little bit further than it looked from the other shot, but still a very good opportunity, just a bit left and low. Tinicum Park, pretty great layout. Definitely got to shape some shots, but it's more of a distance kind of challenge. Got a long par threes, couple of par fours. I'd say the only kind of disadvantage is the old baskets make it tough to catch, but everybody's playing on them, so it's still fair. So we'll be likely tapping out here for a par frame. And over to par 3, hole 3, par 3, 402 feet. So another long, pretty much wide open hole. If you do take a wide right-hand backhand hyzer, trees come into play. So that's pretty much the only challenge. Again, OB road right and long, same road we were playing along. So it's kind of distance and accuracy on these first couple holes. We do get into the woods a little bit as we get towards the end of this back nine. So you do have to have kind of all the tools in the bag for this course. Good straight shot by Rob. If you don't have the distance, it's all you can do. Just get as close as you can. Maybe give it a long bid. or just be happy with your par, because 400 feet is not what everybody can throw, especially on a tournament like this. Good distance for Tiernan. He definitely got that. It'll be left side. Have a look at it. Zach pulls this a little bit. Needs to get stable. Goes pretty far left and long. So he'll be approaching back at the basket. Zach seems to have a bit of an arm on him. Let's see if you can dial that in for future holes. Tyler going with the high flex line. Trying to get it there. Comes up a bit short. Maybe 80 feet. Potential for another birdie bid. Probably a little further than Zach would have wanted for his upshot. He'll have a little bit of a tester still for his par. Rob for birdie. Oh, and off the number plate on the top. And not a friendly roll either, but should be able to clean that up. Big high bid for Tyler, just a bit wide. And now Tiernan for the last birdie opportunity on the card. Oh, and just a bit high. And another unnecessary roll. Taking his time, making sure. Gets it in there. Pretty good. And there we go. Couple of pars, and looks like we're gonna have a par frame, and hole 3 came in right around par for the day, or at least for round 1. Right in the middle of difficulty, so it's reflected in this feature card for the MPO division. Okay, good. I was worried I may have spoke too soon, but those guys took their time, made it happen. So on to hole 4, par 4, 553 feet, woods the entire way. There is an OB line flagged that we'll see once we get to the footage, and an OB road right. So a lot of different lines you can take to try to navigate through the trees. Really just trying to get about to that crossroad or past it on your first shot if you can, and then see what line you have to try to approach the basket. Now going straight up the middle, and pretty good. This is kind of a cresting hill, so you hear the players talking. Can't quite see where it finishes, but that was right in the middle, in bounds. They may be worried about that left side line. You see the yellow there. Gets a little bit tighter, kind of towards the middle and up near the basket. Chin kicks a tree, but does stay safe. The lines here do seem to be a little bit more difficult for the lefty backhand. Trying to have to go with a turnover. And luckily stays in bounds. He turned it over a little bit too much. Could have rolled towards the road. And pures it through. Goes a little bit right side, but stays in bounds. Stability helped him towards the end. And that right side, you do have the option to play over the road, which obviously takes the trees out, but brings the out of bounds into play. Tiernan going to forehand, hits a good line, A little bit of a skip and a roll, and he'll be in circle 2. Seeing the first forehand from Zach. Also able to go over the road. And looks like that's coming back nicely. And yeah, landed right by that last row of trees on the road. See if that is, have to probably straddle out. Approach the green from there. Tyler's taking a similar line, gets past all the trees, and he'll have a putt for his birdie. Rob asking for it to go, needs it to sit actually, and checks up just before the road. Zach does have a clean line at the basket, giving it a long bid, and just a bit too high. Should still be able to clean up that par. Tiernan with his birdie look. Oh, good line. Just looked like less than a foot, couple inches short from hitting some chains. Ooh. Rob also just a little bit low. And now Tyler for the first birdie of the round. Able to cash it in. And that brings us back to 4 even scores on the scorecard. But I would suspect that the next hole will have a little bit more scoring changes, as we'll see after these guys tap in their pars. Hole 5 from a temporary tee pad just to the left of hole 4's basket, going out into the field 254 feet. This is actually the left position. We're playing to the right, which is an even shorter and easier position. And Tyler coming up a little bit low, getting caught up in the dead grass, but still within the circle. If you remember coverage from last year, we actually saw a spit out for an ace on this hole. Very exciting. Rob a little left, but again, within the circle. We'll have a good look for his birdie. Tiernan going a little wider. Looked like it went a bit straighter than he anticipated, but again, still pretty close to the basket. Zach taking it pretty wide, starting to come back. And yeah, never quite stabled up for him, so he'll have either a long look or just a easy up and down. Oh, just off the top row of the cage for Zach. Bit wide. Oh, just a bit right side, a little low for Tiernan. And Rob able to save the card. This hole was coming in as the easiest on the round at over a half a stroke under par, but you can see the drives weren't the issue. Some of these guys having a little bit of a putting woes. But Rob able to take the early lead, at least on our card. On to hole 6, par 3, 281 feet. Basically, right hand, backhand, hyzer line. You got to come in late, so a flat stall hyzer kind of works, or a big wide high hyzer if you have it to be fading the whole way. The mistake here is just not get it in to the woods far enough, because there is a property line beyond the basket that I believe is playing out of bounds. And Rob does make that mistake, turns it over, trying to maybe flip something up to flat to let it fade at the end, but just turns it over. Not too much wind to speak of, at least this early in the morning. Gets a little breezy later in the day. And Tyler making a similar mistake. Goes with definitely a more stable disc, but puts it on anhyzer on the release. And you really do want to be kind of punching into that tree line at the end, and these guys are kind of way out in the field. So maybe there is a little breeze out there that they don't feel from the tee. Tiernan making a correction. And that's more of what you're looking like. Honestly, that's usually like the safe landing zone, where you're not getting too close to the basket, but you maybe have a long bit at it. Zach going with the backhand, likely the turnover. Ooh, getting caught up in some early trees. Yeah, that's really difficult lefty backhand hole to get it to go that far straight and then turn, so should be happy getting out of here with a par. And Rob probably almost 200 feet away still. And not super happy with his upshot, so he'll still have a little bit of work to save his par. Good up for Tyler. And Tiernan with the closest drive. See if he wants to give it a bid here. Looking like it. Just not quite committed enough. Ooh. Off the band for Rob. That'll be a bogey. And good par save for Zach there. On to hole 7, passing by our guardian friend on the right. Par 4, 377 feet. A couple of gaps you can take, because again, we're looking at the short pin position here. Actually going to be playing past that. Another 100, 150 feet to the long position. So you want to kind of land by that short tee, or a bit further if you get there on your first shot. And then you should have something to try to navigate through on your second. Tyler going with the overhand throw. Looks like he caught a late tree, went up right side. Might have a difficult lie on his second. Tiernan kicking pretty far right. This is a very tight tunnel shot, honestly. One of the harder, if not the hardest tee shot on the course. As you can see, it's just a barcode of trees in there. And sneaking most of the way through. Zach catching a late tree but staying on the fairway. Honestly, sometimes the basket for the short position gets in the way here. If you land on a perfect drive, then it becomes an obstacle. Tiernan may be lining up a roller. Just trying to progress on the fairway. He's pretty far right. Gets it down fairly well. Hops over the log. And I believe what we're looking at up close is the far pin. So he'll have, looks like a clean approach to try to get up and down. And good skip shot for Tyler. He'll have a long look at his birdie even after catching a tree off the tee. Ooh, and Rob catching another tree. But maybe circle 2, we're just outside. Making progress, I think, is the name of the game for this hole, really. Now we see Zach having to go over the basket. The forehand fades out, but again, he'll be in the circle. And Tiernan a little obstructed, having to go with a little bit of the turnover putt. But that will do to save his par. Rob a little bit obstructed here. Get in there, and he nails it. What a way to start your scoring off of the round. Yeah, take another look at it. 75, 80 feet, just floats it in there. Look how clean that is. No wobble. Dead center, falls into the left side pocket. Great putt by Rob to get under par. Tyler trying not to get big putted, and he does it. A few steps closer, much less obstructed, but nonetheless great putt also to get under par. Tie for the lead on this card. And Zach trying to match just a little bit left side. Nice par save for Tiernan after kicking off an early tree. So 2 pars and 2 birdies for hole 7. Hole 8, shorty, 215 feet. Lots of trees to navigate. Couple of different ways you can go. Left side wide or tighter gap straight at it. I've also seen players try to go high right side above those bushes. We'll see what these players do. Ooh, coming pretty close to the basket. Little turnover for Tyler. You see, definitely close enough. These guys are going standstill off the tee. Just try to keep it. I was going to say, try to keep it accurate, but Rob's still unfortunately catching one tree right in the middle. Trying to really, that's kind of where you split the choose your line, left or right. Tiernan probably going for a bit of that turnover backhand line, catching a tree on the left side. This is actually a little bit friendlier for left hand. The left side gap is just kind of a straight with a little hyzer. And yeah, caught that late tree, but that was a pretty good line. Actually juiced it a little bit. And you see, as you get close, if you're not really on that fairway, there are a ton of trees to try to navigate through. But Rob does it perfectly. Almost nicking the pole as it rolls past. Tiernan. Good line, getting it up there. Now Zach for birdie. Nails it. Now he's on the board. Tyler to take the lead. So 2 birdies and 2 pars. This hole was coming as the second easiest, almost a half a stroke under par. As we head into the last hole on this front 9. The last hole was a shorty. This one is extra shorty, 185 feet. It's a very kind of awkward line. You want to go right where those last 2 trees are, so you have to get either inside or outside of them, and then just kind of have a close enough putt. You really can't throw it right at the basket. There is also kind of a left to right line, if you prefer that. And Tyler splits those last 2, taking it real wide. And he'll have a short putt for his birdie. 3rd in a row, I believe. Yeah, Zach trying to go with the forehand flex line. Doesn't quite turn it enough. Ooh. Rob getting the big right side kick. Again, probably not actually getting much closer to the basket. Tiernan going high and wide. Winds up just behind that one guardian tree. Yeah, Zach catching that one guardian tree, but be in the circle to try to save his par. You can see it's not fun over this right side. Purposely giving a challenge for such a short hole. You gotta have some defense. Not able to save that par, but here is Tiernan for birdie. Just a bit high. Trying to get under that even score on the front 9. Not able to do it, but he sat close. Oh, a lot of chains right side. This guy's having a difficult time on this shortest hole in the course. Other than Tyler, who cashes in a turkey. So, the rest of these guys will tap in. That will do it for our front 9. We have our shot of the round contender here. Robert Staas with the 80-foot, beautiful, clean putt. It's going to be tough to top that, but we will see if we can do it on this back 9 coming right up. Thanks to our supporting sponsors and, of course, our Patreon family who help make all of this possible. Head over to the back 9. Will there be more exciting putts like that? We'll see. We'll see you over there.